peace, peace, and hat grease, in hopes that we wouldn't say it first, but truth must be.
And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, Robot, as you can see, we're talking about reptilians tonight, and we got a lot of stories we're going to bring to you of encounters that people had with live reptilians. Now, I myself had an encounter maybe 2 or 3 times with these reptilians. We see them a lot in Louisiana, down in the swamp areas. When I was a little boy, one of them chased me about 2 blocks in the middle of the night to my auntie's house. I'm gonna bring my auntie on one day to let her tell that story. My mama and my auntie, because my mama came to pick me up from my auntie house. When I got to my auntie house, I told her that a reptilian that had a face like his face was like what I described it as is he looked like Freddy Krueger, because how his face was all had scales on it. But at the time I didn't know that to call it a reptilian. But I just associated them with Freddy Krueger. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out later it's a reptilian. But we brought you here. We gave people time to get on, and we're about to bring these stories on, some interesting stories, to verify some of the things that Dr. Malachi Z York said in the Holy Tablets. Now, let me share my screen because I want to show y'all these beings, because the being they're going to be in the first two tapes, they're going to be talking about these beings. Let me show you. In the first 2 tapes. And Doc put a picture of these people in the Holy Tablets, right? If you're new to the page, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. You can pull up the Doc. They say, man, his favorite book is the Holy Tablets. Really, the Holy Tablets, Let's Set the Record Straight, and probably like a couple more other books. Doc got 4,000 books out. So I'm just imagine if I'm only I got 2,000 tapes out. I'm only teaching out 1 or 2, 3 books. Just imagine how much information Doc put out. You know what I'm saying? All right. So this in the Holy Tablet right here, page 39. Doc show these beings with the web hands, web feet. They look like frog man, right? Because the lady gonna say she took out a frog man, right? And then I got another video that's gonna verify the old lady story. And shout out B-Dale, because I heard the old lady story on B-Dale 1014. be there. When he put that mermaid tape out, he played this story I'm about to play you in his tape. That's where I heard it at first, and then I went found it on TikTok, and then I said, "Dang, that's I'm going to break down that story." But we got several other stories to corroborate these stories of these beings, and not only these beings, other reptilian stories as well, encounters. But these beings are called the Meldekians, and they came from a planet that was in between Mars and Jupiter. That planet got destroyed by Nubaru crashing into it. In the meanwhile, these beings launched 4 fighter ships. We got the whole breakdown of the story in the journey of the mothership Nubaru in the playlist called Different Extraterrestrials. You watch that journey of the mothership Nubaru part 1 through 3. It breaks down the whole storyline about how these beings end up getting to Earth. Right? They actually came here on 4 ships that got trapped in Nubaru force field. Right? These guys, the Meldekians. The leaders of them could get 7 feet tall, but the short ones, which the lady from they explained that came out the water, they about 4 foot tall, 4.5 foot tall, right? Webbed fingers, webbed feet, slimy looking, scaly looking skin. They are the father race or the mother race of the gray aliens, and they are the father race of the reptilians, right? All the reptilians that you're about to hear about, all the Nagas descend from these beings, the Nomos descend from these beings, the Dragonian descend from these beings, right? All of those different species, the 18 different species so far that we logged, all come out of this is the origin of them come from these frog looking man, right? We're gonna break more down on that. Hold on, let's see what else we got in here before we go to that story. All right, another thing I want to point out too, while we right here, let's pull up the internet. I want to show y'all something where they come from. So that way, when people say they down south in Florida or they down south in Mobile, Alabama, these areas, and they encountering these beings in these areas, I'm gonna show you why. See, and Doc pointed out in the hotel that these beings got bases down here, right, in a place called the Bermuda Triangle. I want to show you a map, right? They call it the Devil's Triangle, right? So here's a map of where these beings base it, right? And that's why when they boats and stuff go through these areas, let's see, can we say that and blow it up? Okay, we're gonna save it in the curse encounter file. All right, save. And it's also those beings they guard. It's a vortex right here that can suck you to the center of the area, right? This area, okay, there you go. It's blowing up now. And just giving people time to get. This is another banger. We the hottest in the game that's doing it, man. So send this out, share it to everybody, let them know you gone. We about to crack heads at Twitch caps. All right. So you see this map right here, right? So these beings, they bases kind of like right up here. So you get a lot of in these areas right here, you get a lot of encounters from these frogmen and these people that makes reports for seats. He just be talking, right? All that species. I wonder what. Man, that's pro. Unbelievable, bro. Y'all, are we loud and clear? Unfreaking believable. Look at this. And it's still doing something crazy. Well, it ain't showing my full there we go. Man, look. Can y'all hear me, man? Look, we got them. That's why they've been trying to shut us down for the last couple of days. Let's go ahead and tell them, because they might try to do this. They flagging us for old videos for 5 years ago. They run this computer program on my page to try to find stuff that they can flag me for. And they already flagged us for a couple of tapes 5 years old. Where they won't even tell me what we said in it that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to get rid of my page. Keep that in mind, because we the one that got the real deal Holyfield. So let's go on. Like, I don't know what just happened now. They just cut me because they know I'm about to tell you about some real beings that really exist, and they already got these beings on file, right? So let's go ahead and roll. So they want to play games. Let's go ahead and roll that first clip for them, man.
Hosila Shalom, and I'm here today with the Israelite sister, and she's gonna share her testimony about a family member in the South. I'll just leave it at that. In the South, where was he a great grandmother?
Great aunt.
A great aunt, a black woman, killed dead a reptilian. Now, some may be in disbelief of the whole reptilian agenda. Some people may not believe it. Some people think it's a myth, and while others think it's real. But here we have from our own community an Israelite sister, not somebody from the Gentile nation or outsider, but somebody within the community. And as Israelites, we wouldn't make up stories to one another about something like this. So she's going to go and give her account of what her great aunt experienced in the 50s when this event took place. And you can go ahead and just start.
Okay. My great aunt relayed this story to me. It was in the late 80s, and my mom and I had gone to visit her to check on her and see how she was doing. She was sitting outside on her front porch, so we were talking, and she always kept her rifle, her double-barrel shotgun, right next to her in her rocking chair. My mother was joking with her about the gun, and she said, "Yeah, I always keep my gun with me because something happened way back a long time ago." And she said, "I'm gonna tell y'all this story." And she said, it's God, as she called him, is my witness. I swear for God, I'm not lying. So she said it was back in the 50s. She said one night she and her husband was in the house, and he was asleep because they were farmers. And she said the dog started barking, the pigs started doing what they do, oinking, and the cows started mooing. And she said the animals just went crazy on their farm, and they had a lot of animals, not just cows and pigs. They had ducks, they had everything. And so she said that they were just screaming like something was going on. She said she tried to get her husband to go outside and see, and he told her, "Oh, it's nothing. Just leave it alone. Just go to bed." So she said, "No, something going on. The animal's going crazy." So she grabbed her shotgun and she went out to the porch. And she said she didn't see nothing immediately, but then she looked down toward the barn, and there was a big pond on the side of the barn, and she said she saw a frog man, is what she described him, coming up from the side of the barn. And she said it was walking toward her, and she said it wasn't that tall. She stood about maybe 5'4", so she said it was a little bit taller than her. But she said he had webbed hands, and she said he was walking straight to her, and she yelled for it to stop, and she said it kept walking. So she said she stepped off her porch, and she took her double-barrel shotgun and she shot it dead.
And to interject for a second, she described that the blood of the reptilian was green.
So then her husband heard the shotgun go off. He came outside. Now, they were elderly at this point, because in the 80s when she was relaying this story, I think she was in her 80s at that point, but so it was early 50s. So she was already in her 50s because they was raising their grandchildren. And she said that she was afraid for the family. And she said when her husband came outside, that was my great uncle, my great grandfather's brother. She said he stepped off the porch and she said, "Look, I done killed something. I done killed something. It's not human." So they walked out there to the side of the barn, and she said they had killed. She said she called it the frog man. But I know it to be a reptilian. And at that point, when she was relating that story to me, I had never heard anything like that before. And she kept saying, "As God is my witness, I swear for God, I'm not telling a lie. This is the honest God's truth." And so, and she wasn't known in the community anyway to be someone who lied. She always was an honest and upright woman. And so she said her and her husband, my great uncle, she said they buried that thing, because we asked, "Well, where was it? Where was it?" She said they buried it right down there where they killed it, near the barn. And so after they buried it, then the animals got quiet again. And of course, I'm going to deviate for a minute. You know that they always tell you to watch nature, and that's what we have to do. Right. Like when the tsunami hit in Indonesia in 2004, they reported that days before it hit, that the dogs and cats and all the animals had gone up into the mountains because they are in tune with the Creator. So they know to flee in instances like that. Well, her animals, they were trying to give off a warning signal. And so they knew something bad was there. But so anyway, they killed it and they buried it. He told her not to tell anybody that story. So she said she didn't tell anybody. So she said about a month later, a little bit less than a month, she said it was nighttime again and they were in their bed. And she said this time, this blue light came over the whole house, and they lived in what you call one of those little bitty shacks long time ago.
In the countryside.
In the countryside, way in the country. They had like several hundred acres of land. That land is still in my family today. And so she said this time her husband got up with her, and the animals went crazy again. So she said they went out there with both of their shotguns, went to the porch, and they saw what they called a UFO, a flying saucer.
Now, was it in the air or was it on the ground?
It had landed on the ground beside the pond.
Okay.
So she said it was on the ground, and she said it opened up, and she said, "Oh, they coming to kill us because we done killed this thing." She said they came off the ship, and she said they went straight to the mound where they had buried this thing, and they put their hand over the ground, and this dead frogman thing that she killed, it just came up out of the ground. It wasn't alive. It was flat and it was dead. But they took that thing and they put it on the ship. Then she said they went over to the pond and they raised up their hands, and a spaceship came out of their pond. Now, their pond was bigger than a regular sized pond. It was almost the size of like a small lake. But she said it had flown. That's how he had, I guess, got there. It had flown into the bottom of the lake. And if any of you all keep up with some of the stories that other countries recount about the UFOs, they'll tell you that some people, especially over in China and the Asian areas, spot them with their spaceships coming up out of the deep water. So they got the spaceship out of the water, and she said, and they looked at them, didn't do anything, didn't say anything, didn't come toward them, got back on the ship and zoomed back into the sky. And she said for the longest she didn't tell anybody. She said, but she told a couple people later on that said she was crazy. So she was just telling my mom and I that to let us know that that's why she always kept her double-barrel shotgun right next to her. Even she said, when I go to the chicken coop, anywhere, I always, because I don't know if they ever going to come back. And that's what she said.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So here you having it. A real life testimony of an Israelite sister whose family member have come in contact with what we know today as a reptilian and killed it in the 50s, buried it. They came back and got the body and the UFO and left. And this is in the 50s, not too far right after the Roswell incident. Just to put that out there. So with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings and catch you on the next documentary. Shalom. Host Sila Shalom.
Now, can you hear me? If you're just not coming in, they've been just trying to disturb our feed. Because they know we got some heavy duty stuff here. About to expose these reptilians. Now, if you've been with us on the other side, the video side, we just put out 2 reptilian tapes. All right, about the reptilians from the center of the earth who are a neutral zord race of reptilians. And about 90% of what she said in that tape is true. And about 10% is guesswork based on what the Anunnakis did. What she said about the Anunnakis mostly was true about how they started the nuclear war, all that. But they are a little off with the storyline, and we'll get more into that later. But these Meldekians that I said that Doc, I just showed people pictures of them. If you're just not coming in, let me show you what they look like. Right, the people that she said that she shot that came out of the water. And they actually left. They actually left here about last time the vortex opened. They went to Zeus Rotilla. Last time we checked was about 37 something light years away. But I checked again because I keep in mind we constantly moving. You know what? It might make it try. Make it hard for me to show these pictures and make it freeze and shit. But hey, but if you're just not coming in, hit that like button. The beam she and I say if you're just not coming in. You can read the Holy Tablets in the link for free in the description. And you talk about these beings and where they come from. For you people that don't like to read, we got whole videos called The Journey of Mothership Nubaru in the different extraterrestrial playlist. And you can watch the storyline on how these beings get to Earth. Right? The whole video with pictures and everything. All right, so we just want to show you a picture of them guys before we roll this next story that's going to corroborate. Now, this next story about the play is going to corroborate the lady's story of shooting during the 1950s. Right after they had bombed Hiroshima, about 5 years after that, right after the Roswell crash, like he pointed out, 1947. So in the 1950s, this stuff was going on. Now, let's go with another story that corroborates the lady's story, the old lady story in the 1950s. Watch this. Let's roll this right here, this story right here. I think this is it right here.
Class Animalian, Type Amphibian, September 24th, 1951, Orland Park, Illinois. Harrison E. Bailey was a steelworker walking home at 11 a.m. when he remembers being surrounded by these frog-like creatures that stood about 1.5 feet tall. They jumped up on him, examining his body. He also remembers them communicating with each other in duck-like calls. There were also many large bugs that were swarming him. He became disoriented and was taken to a silvery craft where he was greeted by 2 men wearing green face shields. These men said that they just wanted to communicate with humans, and they asked Bailey to be their spokesperson. Bailey suffered from chronic health conditions for the rest of his life.
All right, so that's another encounter in the 1950s where a dude encountered some frogman in a silver metallic craft. That's the same thing that the lady described. They pulled up in a silver metallic craft and a frogman came out. She shot the frogman. Now it stands to reason. Like I told you, people talk about the AR-15 and the 40 Glocks. The youngsters want to have the extended clip, but it stands to reason that a 12 gauge can send an angel back to heaven. A 12 gauge is send a extraterrestrial, anybody. Hey, that 12 gauge is send them on back to the other side. Right? You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you is. You hit it with that double barrel, them slugs. Man, look, I done seen that do that what that 12 gauge can do, man. I'm telling you. And so it stands to reason that a 12 gauge blow an alien back to the fourth dimension, or fifth dimension, whatever dimension he came from. That old lady hit him with that 12 gauge and blew him back to whatever dimension he came out of. You know what I'm saying? With that 12 gauge. My mama. Right? Right. So that storyline cooperates the Frogman story. Now, let's get into, because if you go watch the videos we just put out on the videos we just put out on the video side about the reptilian telling her storyline, right? She said that they can come amongst humans and they can look invisible, or they can shade shift and make themselves look human, right? And the skin is cold and all this, right? So let's play this clip of this security guard. I hope you can hear it. Well, he said that he's seen this reptilian. Oh, let's play this one where this dude say he got off work and then a reptilian chased him, because it's the same storyline similar to what happened to me. Right here, let's play this
one night. So I got off at 12 midnight. I didn't get my workout in that day, so I decided to get my run and walk in before I go to bed. So as I was walking, I seen someone up in front of me coming towards me, but they was kind of far off, and I could tell it was a person. It was human, had a human shape, and I'm thinking, well, it's just somebody's walking, you know. And then I got to where they turned off at. I continued to proceed to walk. I didn't see this person no more. So as I proceeded to walk, I got on down, and I got to my spot. So as I got to the destination where this person turned left at, I looked again. This person is standing in the middle of the road. And as I was looking, and I was like, hold up. This person looks like a snake, like a standing snake. So as I was looking, I started walking fast, and I kind of picked him. I started running. This thing started chasing me. And as it started chasing me, I kind of looked back. It was like a reptilian looking figure. It had scaly skin. As I was running, I could tell that it was running, and it was kind of running with a limp. This thing, tongue was hanging out his mouth, and his tongue could touch his chest if it wanted to. But this thing was chasing me, but I was in shape. I was running hard. And when I got to my spot, to my apartment complex, I looked back. It was gone. Reptilian people are real.
Right, so that dude say that he got off work and one chased him. I think he's down in New Orleans. And we heard I heard a lot of stories during the time of the Katrina happened, that they saw reptilians walking upright, carrying humans on their shoulder, like dead bodies on their shoulder during Katrina, from people that were floating in the water. Right. So I heard a lot of crazy stuff down there. But let's roll some more, man, because we got a lot of clips to go over here. And that was one encounter. Hold on, let's do this.
They told me they were making a hybrid race.
And for what?
They didn't want. I wanted to know for what, but they never gave an inkling of what it was for, or what this hybrid race would be doing, where it would be, or what.
The reptilian hybrids have been known to shapeshift temporarily into their reptilian form. So that's happened with 3 of them whom I know about. One of them, a beautiful hybrid living in England, her name is Charmaine. The way that she got confirmation that she is a hybrid was having an encounter with some of her reptilian extraterrestrials, and she has encounters with other types as well, and genetics from other types. But in one encounter when she was about age 27, with her reptilian extraterrestrials. They helped her to shapeshift into her total, pure reptilian form.
And she can
And
do that,
she
goes
did.
back and forth.
They
Not gonna believe this story. There's a guy that posted.
Right. Look, the project, so that you talk about Project Grudge, right? But here's the thing. See, Dr. Malachi Z York already broke it all down already in the holy tablets on what happened and how Inky and Enlil and all them, who are the Anunnakis, came and engineered the Homo erectus and then upgraded them with their DNA to the Homo sapiens. They put this in the Bible and let us make man. That's the only thing they give you, right? So Project Grudge really is a scrap project that gives you that it ain't really got in detail what broke down. But if you want to get in detail what happened with the creation of man, you can read that in the Holy Tablets about Dr. Malachi Z York, which you can read for free in the link in the descriptions, right? So they still talking about, they still sound like they guessing. We already put it all together for you. And if you don't like to read, we got a whole playlist called the Anunnaki Playlist Chronicles. They got 200 tapes in there breaking the whole storyline down on how the human was created and all that with pictures and everything, right? So we passed that already as students of Dr. Malachi Z York. Now here's another interesting clip, man, of this guy that says that it's a dinosaur across the street from his house locked into a warehouse. And he sees scientists over there. They've been running experiments in this warehouse. And they didn't recreate it. They didn't clone the dinosaur. He said, and the dinosaur trying to break out. Y'all gotta listen to this. It sounds kind of interesting. Check this out.
Not gonna believe this story. There's a guy that posted a video claiming the house in front of him is a lab and a dinosaur is trying to get out. I don't know what to think about this video. He claims a dinosaur is coming out of someone's backyard. Let me know what you guys think because this video is pretty crazy. Pay close attention.
We're back there. I saw a head. I swear. There's a dinosaur in that building. It's trying to get out. But there's a tree blocking. I can only see the head. I saw like a mouth like this. I think it's some kind of Tyrannosaurus. Oh, look, there it is. There it is. Where is it at? I saw the top of the head right there. I swear. Look, you hear it's trying to get out. Oh, shit. It's a whole Tyrannosaurus. See? Look, there's a head right there. Oh, dang. Hold on, let me zoom in. Oh, look, there's the head. There's the head right there. Look. Look. I told you. Now it's hiding behind that tree, but it's trying to get out. I've been telling everybody that there's been dinosaurs locked up in that building for years. I've lived here for 2 years. I hear the noises at night. And finally, I think it broke the shackles. And it's trying to get out of that building. Y'all saw it shake, right? I know I ain't the only one. Boy, get inside.
What y'all think about that one, man? Hold on. Let me about a dude that saw daggone he said they running some kind of experiment across the street from his house where they cloning that's how crazy, right? Hey, but he got it on tape, so let's get the next one on here, okay?
When I turned, I was working for the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Richard Doty was exposed to intelligence documents that reference both insect-looking ETs as well as reptilian ones.
If you read the intelligence reports, their skin was almost reptilian. If you just looked at them from the chest up, you could say the head looked more humanoid, but the body didn't. And that's why I believe the DIA classified the reptilians and the praying mantises except.
All right, so you see that the reptilians, they agenda order out of chaos, and like I say, it's different groups. But the group that he talking about specifically is the Dragon reptilians. They different from the other group that live in that's originally from the center of the earth that were benevolent beings when the reptilians got here. right? So the Draconians, they have a different agenda, and even some of those beings that from the center of the earth, 1/3 of them have chosen to take on the agenda of the Draconians, and so they created these human hybrids to come to the surface so that they can control the surface. But like he said, I knew them really can't interfere because it's based on they got a rules of engagement and rules of interference. So if the humans come on their own free will, you ever notice when you join all these secret societies like the Masons, whatever secret society that it is, they ask you when you get ready to enter, do you come on your own free will? Right. So that's part of it. The reptilians know they got to get you. That's why the devil asks when you make a deal with them, do you come on your own free will? Right. Because they got to ask you this in order for you to not to be breaking galactical law, right? So that's why he explaining it, right? Let's go to the next one.
You do know that reptilians and Draco, the blood sacrifices, the whole Luciferian thing, the kids being killed and eaten. I mean, that humans have been eaten and taken off planet, et cetera, and used for slaves in other colonies, etc.
I hate to say that, but that's far worse than what you've just said.
It's far worse.
Yes, far worse. Frankly, we need help.
Yeah.
We need everybody involved in this. That's not a lie. We need help.
Hey y'all, if you're just not coming in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Right? Young Gilder got 8 books for sale right now for donation for $45 donation to the Cash App or PayPal. We'll send you all 8 books by the Young Gilder. The books of it's called the Ascension Manual about this thick. The book of Extraterrestrials, Volume 1, about this thick. We got about 700 races in there with pictures and everything. Then we got the book of Orion Group book, the Dream Scroll, the Hustler's Manual, the Scroll of Eyes. We got the Language of the Birds book and the Galactic Family of Life, Volume 1. Right? Hey, shout out Ben Bay Jr. Ben Junior Bay, my baby kids, right? We rolling it live, y'all. So you want to get those books? We want to get those books while they hot. $45 donation to the Cash App, and I'll send your books over ASAP. Make sure you leave your emails in that link when you send it. The $45 PayPal, Cash App. Make sure you leave your emails in the link so I can send you the books in PUF form to your email.
Say somebody play around, so.
I'm about to go ahead and play this next clip, right? This next clip is a celebrity security guard. Y'all might be seeing him on a lot of interviews talking about the Diddy thing and Jaguar right, etc. Right? Well, he about to tell a story where he was a bodyguard for a celebrity, and then he went to one of them parties, right? All them, the Diddy parties, the parties they be having, right? And say when he went to this party, he saw a shape-shifting reptilian in the party. And right, so he about to explain the story right here about how he's seen and how his story line up with what everybody else saying. So we about to roll this clip for you, right? Listen to this.
Say somebody play around. So for him to say to me he just seen the devil, I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? He say, bro, she had a long tongue and her face was covered in scales, looked like a snake. So I'm listening to him. I'm listening to the man. I'm looking him in his eyes. Because I got to make sure he's not drunk and shit like that. His body ain't been spiked. You got to check all of this type of shit. So I say, where did you see this person? He pointed across from us in another section. Okay. I look across. What do I see? I seen a person. Bald, scales, like brownish green scales over the face. Tongue, like the tongue was like licking on the side of his face, on this side. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You see what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I am. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. It shocked me to my soul, and it made my heart race. My heart don't really race like that, man. Because, I'm used to being in tough, crazy situations. Everybody always say, I got ice water in my veins. People always say that. So check this out.
Me and this person make eye contact. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to step down and I'm going to go over here and see if I can see. So maybe it's a mask. Maybe there's somebody with body modifications. You see what I'm saying?
It's like, it's crazy because when you see stuff that's unbelievable, you try to make excuses for it. I've been there. Like, no, I ain't see that.
Check this out. If I'm lying, I'm flying on the game. I step down, I go across, and I see this person still looking at me. Now, when I get close, though, she stepped behind the guy.
As soon as, hey, no, that's all right.
Now it's a normal lady again. But she's smiling at me, though. So I reached out, and I tried to shake her hand. Now, when she touched my hand, her hand was cold, like ice cold. And the look that she gave me was like, okay, this person knows what they saw. But I didn't make a scene, you feel me? I ain't make no scene or nothing. But my cousin was shook up to the core, like, you know, this was the last time he really came out with me. Like, that was his last time coming out with me. You feel me? Because he saw this person first. Now, the reason I say person, because, you know, I don't know if it's an alien. I don't know if this is a shapeshifter. I don't know what any of that shit is, man. You feel me? I'm from the street, bro. I'm from the trenches, bro. You feel me? I seen real monsters. But this person, that person that day looked like a real creature, bro. And, you know, I had to reconcile that with myself. You feel me? Like, man. Because if it's one of them in there, that means it's probably more. See what I'm saying? So look, people keep saying this draconians. I don't even know what that is. You feel me?
All right, so he give his testimony of seeing one at these parties, right? And some of the stuff that he described is the same thing that the lady described in the tapes I put out on the video side, where she said they can shade shift, and if you touch them, they cold, their hands and their skin is cold to the touch. That's the same thing that he said. Yeah, well, the 12 gauge, right? The 12 gauge, look, that old lady sent that alien back to the fourth dimension with that 12 gauge, right? It stands the reason that a 12 gauge can take out angels. You know what I'm saying? Tell you, man. That 12 gauge blew up to that old lady, she said stop. And then he ain't stopped. She sent him back to the fourth dimension. Then they put his body in the ground. Yeah, man. I just seen 12 gauge hit a dude, man. I saw a dude come out to Taco Bell, a Crip dude come out to Taco Bell. Well, I think he was a blood. He was a blood. Came out to Taco Bell. The Crip dude shot him with a 12 gauge, blew him back all over across the counter, man, with a 12 gauge. 12 gauge ain't no joke, right? I'm telling you. But that dude, what he encountered was one of these lizard shapeshifting reptilians, and at least 60% of your celebrities are really these people. All the old celebrity has been replaced, right, with these reptilian shade shifters, right? Let's get more into it.
Say that. Class Animalian.
The Sumerians, the Phoenician Canaanites, the Egyptians, especially the Sumerians, all the ancient peoples of the world talked about the reptile aliens. Well, after the program, I got a phone call from a guy who's, later on I found out, is an extremely wealthy businessman in Las Vegas. He buys and sells hotels and commercial properties in Vegas, and he was the biggest there. And he said, I'm a Christian, and I have 5 men who work for me in my office, and they're Christians, and they all belong to the same church. We all go to the same church, and all 6 of us are in the office, and we were hearing you today. And he said, when you mentioned reptile aliens, I had to call you and tell you. Every year, we go somewhere in the world on vacation, and my company pays for everything. And he said, so I take, and all 6 families go together on a vacation somewhere. And he says, and last year, now this was like in '88, so he's talking about '87. And he said, last year we decided to go camping for a couple of weeks in Colorado. And he says, we were up in the mountains and we broke camp one morning and we walked up to the top of this mountain. We were almost there anyway at camp, and then the next morning when we broke camp, we walked up to the top of the mountain to look over the lay of the land. And he says that out in the valley, we could see that there had been an area that had been cleared away. It was like a round area that had been cleared away. And there was a circle of people out there, and they were all wearing robes, and they were all holding hands and swaying back and forth, singing and chanting. You could barely hear them. But he said, but it was very quiet where we were. We could see that there was some kind of a ritual dancing or swaying back and forth in a circle. They were all holding hands. And there was obviously somebody in the middle, like a priest or something in the middle. And he said, this is out in the middle of nowhere, that these people are here with this thing that they're doing. And he said, we're up here in the mountains looking down on them. And he said, while we were standing there looking at them, all of a sudden, a second figure popped up out of nowhere. But it was bigger than the man that was in the middle. It's in the middle too, but it's much bigger. And it pointed up at us. And he said, and all the singing stopped, everybody stopped and pointed. And he said, we knew we'd been had. And he said, we didn't know what was going on, but whatever it was, it just popped in out of nowhere, pointed up at us, and everybody is now pointing at us. And he said, so we figured we better just get out of here. He said, when we turned around, it was standing behind us. That thing which was down there was already behind us. That's how quick it moved. He said, when we turned around to run, there was a reptile alien standing behind us. He said this thing was at least 7 to 7.5 foot, to maybe 8 foot tall, had a reptile man's head, but it was a reptile head. It was very muscular, looked like a human body on the ordinary of a human body, but a reptile body, extremely muscular. And he said, and it was looking at us, and he said, it cast some kind of a spell on us so that the children and the women, no one could move. We were like frozen. And he said, and even nobody could say anything, nobody could cry, nobody could run, nobody could do anything. And he said we were staring at it, and it was looking at us, but it had control over us. It had locked us so that we couldn't move, we couldn't scream, we couldn't do anything. And he said, and this thing was gazing at all of us, looking at the children, looking at the women. He said, this reptile alien, and he says, we're just Christians in a church, but we saw a reptile alien. This thing was not of this world. And he said this thing was looking at all of us, and then he said it looked at the men, and the look he gave us, we understood. He didn't say anything, but we knew. He was saying, I'm going to leave you alone. But when I leave here, you better get out of here. And he said, the alien walked over like he was leaving, is gone. Just like they was gone. And he said, when he was gone, the moment he was gone, everyone came back to life. And the babies were screaming, the women were yelling, screaming. Everybody came back to life. Instantly. And he says, we ran like we were totally out of our minds, running back to the cars. We ran down the hill, got in the cars, and the women were screaming, the children were yelling, and he says that we drove back, and he said it was the most incredible, horrible experience. And he says, all the guys in my office will tell you, we saw a reptile alien in Colorado. So when you're talking about, he says, so when you're talking about reptile aliens in the ancient world, I got news for you. There's one we know for sure in Colorado. We saw him.
And keep in mind, y'all, Doc already pointed out that some of the entrance to go to these, because a lot of mountains, the Rocky Mountains, right? So it's a lot of entrances to go to these people's city in Colorado, which the lady explained in the video that we put out on the 2 videos. We got part 3 coming out tomorrow on the video side, right? Let's roll another one.
An Instagram account captured what appears to be Till Lindemann from Ramstein shape-shifting his eyes into a reptilian form. I first saw this in Contacto RV1. This is a video. So in this video, you can actually see him, you can see normal eyes, and then here you go, right? So I thought that this could be fake, I mean like not from the original video. So I went over to the original video in the concert in Paris, 2017. Indeed, you can find this in 30 minutes and 22 seconds. Well, I'm gonna play the original video and you guys tell me what you think. Let's take a look at the original video. Right now. So pay attention, you got his eyes pretty normal, right? And then, boom, what the heck? I'm gonna zoom in and replay the video.
All right, so we know that a lot of them, because Doc said a lot of these guys. Hey, shout out O'Neal for getting the books. I'm sending you the books right now while the show going on. But Doc said that a lot of them disguise themselves as rock and roll guys, and they got this black paint and all this. They wear all this black, fingernail polish and all that. And he said it's a lot of punk rock children emulating these demons or these reptilians. And so it's hard to tell the difference between the punk rock guys who just emulating the real demons. And sometimes when they're on stage performing, they shade shift, like that dude just pointed out.
If there ain't no such thing as a lizard person, explain to me what this is. Explain to me how this man's neck is doing this. And I want one of you guys to send me a video of your neck doing the same thing. You do it with my neck. That ain't what's happening with him. You do it. You do it. Since you say ain't no lizard people, you do it. You show me you doing it. Look at it. Ain't no lizard people. Get your behind out of here. And for those of you who say, just because I don't agree with you, that mean I'm a lizard. You're damn right. That's what I'm saying. It means you is a lizard. You's a lizard. Deal with it. Don't get mad at me because you was a lizard. If it ain't no such thing as a lizard person, explain to me what this is. Explain to me how this man's neck is doing this. And I want one.
So, yeah, he funny, right? Yeah, so he said send him a video with your neck doing it, right? So they've been walking amongst us. They've been around us. Like a lot of the government, I already know about this for years. A lot of people have been seen, not just one person, hundreds, thousands, if not millions of people, reports of these reptilians chasing people, trying to kidnap people, whole bunch of storylines, right? Let's run another one. The background sound on it.
They'll take you.
This shit crazy, yo.
They'll take you. They steal kids like you. Cross them over. Special ones. The power of your mind. That's what they want.
Jake, what's up? Let's go.
Want to hang out?
Yeah.
Boys. It's very common in adolescent boys. There he is. I'm Jill. I'm your intake administration supervisor. You pack your things?
What exactly do they do at your clinic?
I can assure you that all our tests are done in a controlled, child-friendly environment.
Our approach is actually very gentle compared to standard treatments. I understand your concerns, but you don't have to worry at all.
Can we pack?
Yeah. What's wrong?
What is that? What? It's the skin people from my dream. He's not human. That's not his real face. You have to believe me.
Put a movie out about it, about them, the skinwalkers. That's another name that the ancient people call them, skinwalkers. And so they walking around, and you can see if you had a camera, if you started go out to a crowd and pan the camera, your camera can pick them up. Sometimes you can see them too if you're aware, right? If they telepathic telepathy not working on you, you can see them. A lot of people see them, right? Check this out.
On a repéré des traces de l'individu en question dans les bois et comment sur la forêt on a repéré des traces de l'individu en question.
So on that one, a camera pick up a reptilian coming chasing the guy. They couldn't see him in straight up, but the camera could pick him up. Because that lady said that's why they like to stay off the camera and avoid cameras, because camera can pick their real image up, right? And they like coming out. They like coming out when it's cooler. They like coming out when it's hot, but they like coming out when it's cooler to walk amongst people because they can wear more clothing to cover up and avoid the cameras, right? So, like I said, the people for you want O'Neill, they got the book. We sending that them books over right now for you, brother. For O'Neill. Anybody else want to get the books? $45 donation to the Cash App. Leave your emails in the PayPal or emails. We sending it over right now to you. We better get ready to get up out of here, man. We're gonna go back and have to edit this tape to cut those drops out. But for the most part, that's what we want to bring to you. We want you to check out the tapes that we got on the video side about the storyline that the Reptilian gives. And we out, man. We'll be back. Wadu.